Welcome everyone to Tino's Time Wrestling. And on this episode, we're going to preview all the action that is going to go down at Vengeance Day, NXT 2.0 style. NXT 2.0 is going to Vengeance Day this upcoming Tuesday on Sci-Fi. Remember, it's still on Sci-Fi this upcoming week because of the Olympics, but after the Olympics are over, it will go back to the USA Network. Who is going to win the Dusty Cup? MSK? Are they going to be able to defend their reign as the Dusty Cup winners? Or are the Creed brothers going to be able to beat them and become the new champs? Who is going to survive the weaponized steel cage? Pete Dunn or Tony D'Angelo? Carmelo Hayes or Cameron Grimes? Can the A champion beat I'm going to take it to the moon and back? Cameron Grimes, Braun Breaker, or Santos Escobar? Can Escobar defeat Braun Breaker and become the NXT champion? I sure hope so, because honestly, I'd really love to see Escobar get the opportunity. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get into all of the predictions for these 5 phenomenal matches that are going to go down at NXT Vengeance Day. And the first one I want to talk about, it is Carmelo Hayes versus Cameron Grimes. Carmelo says he's the A champion, and it's time for him to prove that he's the A champion when he goes up against Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes has had his thing, he's been doing his thing on NXT, and I'm happy that he is still being used and involved, because you've seen the crazy switch and how much NXT has changed in the last few months. And we'll get to one guy that debuted in AEW in a little bit that I'm shocked and WWE is going to be, and they're going to regret it for years to come that they let that man go. But in Carmelo Hayes and the Cameron Grimes match, I'm going to take Carmelo Hayes to win this match. Don't get me wrong, I love Cameron Grimes, and I really would like to see him win, but I think that Carmelo is going to stay champion, and he's going to defeat Cameron Grimes, and this match is going to be really good, and I can't wait to see what these two do and what type of show that they put on. But after the dust settles, I'm taking the A champion Carmelo Hayes to win and defeat Cameron Grimes, take it to the moon and back. But if Cameron Grimes wins, I wouldn't be mad at all. The next match on the card I want to talk about, it is the Dusty Cup. Who's going to win the Dusty Cup? The Creed brothers or the defending champions MSK? We saw last week, MSK win and move on after beating the grizzled young veterans and everything like that. And we saw the Creed brothers do the same thing and move on and do their thing. And the Creed brothers are very surprising to me, and I'm surprised that they've made it this far, to be honest. But they're very impressive, and honestly, other than their attire, I would love them. I just don't understand why they're dressing up like high schoolers and the high school wrestlers. They should come up with different attire. But whatever, I guess that's what Vince likes, because it's what Vince McMahon wants, right, people? Even though Vince McMahon doesn't listen to what we want, he just listens to what he thinks is good shit in his head. But after the dust settles in the Creed match, in the Creed brothers versus MSK, I'm going to take MSK to win and become your 2-time Dusty Cup winners. MSK has been phenomenal. They had their little shaman adventure that they went on. They came and they defeated two tag teams in the Dusty Cup, and now they're in the championship again, and I don't think that they're going to stop. So I'm taking MSK to win and become and stay the Dusty Cup winners and keeping their title for 2 straight years. The next match on the card we're going to talk about, it's for the women's tag team champions. It's Toxic Attraction, Gigi and JC Jane versus Indy Hartwell and Persia. I think that's how you say your name, Persia. Hopefully that's how I say it. If I'm saying it wrong, leave the right way to say it in the comments, but I think that's how you say it. But these women are going to put on a show. I've loved what Indy is doing with Dexter. That is really funny. I miss Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Please, for the love of God, don't show up in AEW. Please, Johnny, don't go. Come back to NXT. But Indy and Dexter have been trying to keep the way alive, and now maybe Indy and her best buddy Persi could become the women's tag team champions. I don't think it's going to happen. Gigi Hartwell and JC Jane with toxic attraction. They're way too hot right now. They're the top of their game in the NXT women's division. Mandy Rose has got the women's title on a grip and by the brass of her. She's holding it tight next to her body. I don't see Indy and Persa winning the match, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm probably saying that name way wrong, people. I don't even know. But anyway, I'm taking Gigi and JC Jane to still be your women's tag team champions after Vengeance Day. So now that we talked about the 3 matches on the card, that, they'll probably start the match and they'll start the show. But these are the 2 matches that I'm really excited for and I easily think could steal the show this upcoming Tuesday on Sci-Fi. The first one I want to talk about, it's Tony D'Angelo versus Pete Dunne inside a weaponized steel cage. And if you don't know what a weaponized steel cage is, it just means that it's a regular steel cage, and it kind of looks like the Ambrose Asylum. If you remember back when Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley fought, I think it was at Payback they fought in a steel cage asylum match kind of thing, and there were weapons all around the ring. That's pretty much the same thing what it's going to be. I'm sure there's going to be kendo sticks, chairs, trash cans, such a bunch of, maybe even a ladder we'll see, a table maybe. I'm sure there's going to be so many types of things, and I cannot wait to see it. I'm surprised that if Vince McMahon is running NXT, I'm surprised Vince came up with a weaponized steel cage match. He was like, hell yeah, that's some good shit. Yeah, Vince, this is what we want to see more of, is this type of stuff, not what you think is good when it's not good, like bringing Goldberg back for the Elimination Chamber when nobody wants to see Goldberg wrestle anymore. But Tony D'Angelo and Pete Dunne are going to steal the goddamn show. They're going to put on a show. They're going to put on a clinic. They're going to beat the hell out of each other with every weapon that they can. They're going to run right for it, and it is just going to be a phenomenal 20-minute match, hopefully 20-minute match that we're going to see. In the end, though, of the winner I'm going to take for this match, I'm going to take Pete Dunne. I love Pete Dunne. He's the bruiserweight. He breaks people's fingers. He does everything right. And I like Tony D'Angelo, but Pete Dunne is one of the few people left from NXT, Black and Gold brand with Tommaso Ciampa and a few other people, not very much left. There's so many people that have went to AEW or just left straight up now at this point. It's like NXT is just gone and it disappeared. But I want to see Pete Dunne win, so that is why I'm going to take Pete Dunne to win this match. Before we do get to the main event of the pay-per-view Vengeance Day, we do have Grayson Waller is probably going to call out LA Knight. We saw the LA Knight and Grayson Waller go after each other the last few weeks, and now Grayson Waller was asked if he was going to be put into a match, and he said, no, I'm not going to be put into a match. I want to call him out, and maybe he's even going to be arrested, and we'll see some type of arrested type of scene or arrested type of skit where we see police officers come and arrest LA Knight, but I would rather see a match. That would be fun to see. But speaking of other things that have been going on in the wrestling world, I mentioned it a little bit ago. Keith Lee, the Limitless One, debuted in AEW this past Wednesday. And I know I don't talk about a lot of AEW on here, but I just want to mention how phenomenal Keith Lee was. He was the NXT champion. He was the North American champion. He was in the Survivor Series match back in 2019 when NXT was a part of Survivor Series. And it just sucks to see that WWE and Vince McMahon wasted Keith Lee and was not able to get him to his potential, and they named him after Bearcat, and they tried to change a bunch of things like he always does, and Keith Lee ended up getting released. But we saw him this past Tuesday in AEW. He is the Limitless One again, so hopefully Keith Lee can do his thing in AEW, and I just wanted to wish my man Keith Lee good luck, because I'll always be a fan of you, and it sucks that WWE wasted you. But now it's time to talk about the main event of Vengeance Day. The main event for Vengeance Day is Braun Breaker versus Santos Escobar for the NXT Championship. And let me tell you, people, if you would have told me that this would have been the main event of NXT Vengeance Day, last year at Vengeance Day, I would have told you you were crazy, because Braun Breaker was a security guard, and I think at the time Santos Escobar was either fighting for the Cruiserweight title or he was just fighting random people in NXT. But with all of the changes that has happened, like we talked about Keith Lee going to AEW a second ago. We've seen so many people leave. We've heard on interviews that Scotty 2 Hotty had on Talk Is Jericho that NXT was forced to dye their beards and cut their hair to look like 30-year-olds or 20-year-olds or whatever the hell Vince McMahon was trying to do there. I don't know. But I'm just saying that this is not the main event I expected to see when we had Killian Cross, Keith Lee, Finn Balor. Oh, God, don't get me started on Finn Balor. But anyway, before I get too off topic, let's talk about this main event. Because this main event and this build has been really good. This past Wednesday, we saw Dolph Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler, the Dirty Dogs, come over and say he's part of NXT now. Is NXT a developmental brand? I can't even say that right. Or is it a third brand? Because if it's a third brand, I'm all down for that. We've seen AJ Styles over there. We've seen Dolph Ziggler show up. We've seen guys show up and come and do whatever it is. But I thought Vince didn't want anybody over the age of 20. I mean, whatever. But that segment was awesome. We saw Tommaso Ciampa come out, and we thought we were going to see a fatal four-way. But I guess not, and we'll have to wait to see what happens after this match. But Santos Escobar and Braun Breaker are going to destroy each other, and they're going to beat the living hell out of each other in every which way aspect, ring, and I hope they tear the place apart. I hope they beat the living hell out of each other, and I really, really do hope that at the end of this match and the dust is settled and these guys beat the hell out of each other for 30 minutes, I am telling you people, and I'm taking the upset on this one, I am saying that Santos Escobar is going to come out and he's going to be your new NXT champion. And you might be saying, why would that be the case? Why would they do that? You know, Braun Breaker just won. I'm not saying that Santos Escobar is definitely going to win and everything. I think and I really hope that does happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Braun Breaker does keep the title and they continue to build him. Not that they're not doing a good job of building Braun Breaker. I just personally would really love to see Santos Escobar be the man at the top of the NXT division and the men's champion and just be at the top of his game and be at the top of NXT, because we saw what happened with Andrade. He was another one that left, and we've seen it happen too many times where these guys get in the main event picture, they lose, and then we don't see them again, and I don't want to see that happen with Escobar. So that is why I'm going to take Santos Escobar to win this match and become your new NXT champion as a bold prediction. And at least if it does happen, we could come back to this on Wednesday and we could be like, hey, your boy Tino was right and he got a prediction right. But probably not, and Braun Breaker is going to win. But I'm still sticking with my man Santos Escobar. We have 5 phenomenal matches that are going to go down on Tuesday. We have the Elimination Chamber that same Saturday. Your boy Tino still coming out with more collection episodes. I ordered about 9 things in the last few weeks, and they're hopefully coming in the mail. So we'll have 2 or 3 more episodes of the Tino's Time collection series that we've been doing. I hope everybody's enjoying seeing all the fun and cool stuff that I have and that I've been collecting. I hope everybody enjoys Vengeance Day. Hopefully it's a good pay-per-view. Hopefully these 5 matches steal the show and NXT 2.0 can have a phenomenal show and put on and show Tony Khan that they can compete with AEW even though they can't. I really hope this NXT Vengeance Day is a good pay-per-view, because if not, people, I don't want to give up on NXT, but it just feels like it's been getting boring as the weeks go on, and sometimes, not saying that it's not great and everything and not good, but there's just times where it feels like I'm watching Raw or SmackDown, and I know you people would agree with me. So until we recap all the action that went down at Vengeance Day, we talk a little bit about the Elimination Chamber, and I let you know when my next collection episode is coming out. This is your boy Tino, signing out.